Have you ever been in a situation where you felt a sudden and overwhelming sense of fear and dread? Some people believe that they possess a kind of extrasensory perception, an inexplicable intuition that can alert them to things, people, or situations that they should be wary of, even when there is no outward sign that anything is amiss. I'm TK Randall, and in this episode I'll be taking a look at the real-life story of one woman's terrifying extrasensory experience, and whether or not we might all possess the supernatural ability to sense things beyond the physical. The story begins on a foggy night in the San Francisco Bay Area of California. A young couple had been driving home, and due to the poor visibility, they had been forced to take a smaller service road that ran alongside Interstate 80. They had been making good progress when suddenly, out of the blue, the man's girlfriend became highly distraught, insisted that something was wrong, and pleaded with him to get them away from the area immediately. The man was understandably taken aback. The fog was still thick outside, and there was no sign of anything untoward. As they continued on, his girlfriend turned white with fear and continued pleading over and over, "Let's go, get us out of here." Her behaviour was highly unusual, as she was typically a very calm and rational person who had never acted like this before. Fearing for her well-being, the man eventually picked up speed and took a direct route to the nearest town. Later, once she had calmed down, she explained that she had become overwhelmed by a sudden, inexplicable sensation that was like a dark, threatening vibe. She had no idea what it was or why she had been feeling it, but insisted that it felt to her like pure evil and that they had been in mortal danger. Even now, she had a look of abject fear all over her face. The story would have ended there, but then the next morning something happened that would chill both of them to the bone. The local news had picked up on the story of a woman's body that had been discovered in the exact place where the man's girlfriend had experienced her strange feelings of fear and dread. It turned out that a roundabout at this location had also been used as a dumping ground for the unfortunate victims of other murders over the years. Maybe it was just the fog that scared her, the man later told of the incident. But I believe that we were driving past this murder scene as it was taking place, and that she had a guardian angel watching over her, which steered her and us away from this evil. To this day, he added, the memory of that night makes my heart race. So, out of interest, I attempted to find out more about this particular murder case by looking at old news articles from the area. The story itself was submitted to our website in 2018, but there was no specific date provided for the incident, so we can't tell if it occurred in 2018 or if it was something that took place many years before that. We also don't know the specific location, other than that it was on a frontage road that runs alongside Interstate 80 in the San Francisco Bay Area. Looking through the archives, I found quite a few cases of murder victims being found at or near to Interstate 80 in that area before 2018, but unfortunately, without further details, it's impossible to confirm if any of these cases are the ones being referenced in the story. Even so, the story does pose an interesting question. Can some people really sense that something bad is about to happen? The feelings described by the woman in our story would generally be described as a sense of impending doom, an overwhelming feeling that something is off, or that something bad is about to occur. Some would describe it as being similar to the feeling you might get if you were driving along and you thought the car coming the other way was going to hit you, the sensation of bracing for something to happen. I will add a disclaimer here that if you do experience something like this often, or if you have other symptoms along with it, there are medical conditions that can be responsible. So if this is the case, you might want to get checked out by a doctor just to be on the safe side. For the purpose of this discussion, though, We are not talking about medical conditions, but instead the broader topic of extrasensory perception. One interesting offshoot of this is the question of whether it is possible to sense when someone is looking at you, even when you can't see them. Many studies have in fact shown that we do indeed possess the innate ability to feel when someone is looking at us, a phenomenon known as gaze detection. Much of this is down to our brain being particularly good at picking up someone's gaze in our peripheral vision. However, this doesn't quite explain how we could know if someone was watching us from directly behind. While subtle clues, such as sounds, might play a role, some believe that we possess a sixth sense, as it were, enabling us to feel the presence of someone who we cannot see. You will likely have experienced a situation yourself in which you felt that someone was there, and then turned around to find that you were right. This is something that seems to happen quite a lot in our daily lives. Perhaps in the case of the woman in our story, there was a similar concept at play, an innate ability to detect emotion or pain, something that her subconscious was able to pick up on despite the absence of any visual or audio cues. This could explain why she suddenly became overwhelmed with a feeling of danger, and the poor visibility due to the fog may have amplified the fear and unease she felt. It's also possible that some people are more sensitive to such things than others, meaning that they may genuinely possess some form of sixth sense. Until the existence of such a phenomenon can be definitively proven, however, we will likely never know for sure if extrasensory perception actually does exist or not. That's all from me for this episode. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and tap the notification bell icon to be notified when we upload new videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.